up, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. So it is Friday. Everyone knows what that means. Fall Out Boy album review. What album are we on? We are on Folie. Okay, so I know a lot of you guys are excited about this one. Folie, Fall Out Boy's 4th studio album. The album that came out before the hiatus. So much to say about this album. I don't even know where to begin. Folie is probably the biggest fan favorite of all Fall Out Boy albums. Folie is also probably the most underrated of all Fall Out Boy albums. Folie is also probably the most polarizing of all Fall Out Boy albums. And Folie is probably the most not well loved by the band out of all the Fall Out Boy albums. There's a lot going on with this album. Folie, Deux, the shared madness of two. This is probably my 3rd favorite Fall Out album, just behind Infinity and Save Rock and Roll. Most of my close Fall Out Boy friends are huge Folie fans. Like, they love this album. I love it too. This is probably my favorite start to finish album. Basically, this album was, there was a lot of issues with this album when it was being made. So, they wanted to get this out really fast. Like, the year after Infinity on High came out, they promised fans they would get this out in 2008. They had it done, they had it like set for election day. They had all these promos for election day. And if you guys know anything about Fall Out Boy's history, they did not get this out on time, so it was delayed. And a lot of people think delaying an album is the end. And I hope it's not, because I don't want history to repeat itself with Mania. But anyway, Folie Deux was delayed. But the behind the scenes, the stuff that we didn't see back then, because, you know, they had really no way of telling us, because there wasn't a lot of social media back in 2008. It was just kind of beginning. They were very contentious when making this record. Like, Patrick just wanted to go, like, easy and just, like, say, like, okay, we had a hit with our last 3s. Like, we can't go any higher. Let's just, you know, take it easy and just make something great and not try and take a bunch of risks. And P is always like, let's make it bigger and bigger and bigger. So on this record, you can hear the differences between P and Patrick. Like, Patrick wanting a more, like, you know, soft rock sound, and P wanting to go big with these explosion sounds. Like, I don't care. That's just how they, like, butted heads. So it ended up being very polarizing. And even when P and Patrick look at it, it's extremely polarizing to them. Patrick feels like he kind of, you know, kind of pushed the other guys in a direction they didn't want to be pushed in, to kind of stray away from a rock sound into a more, jazzy kind of, I don't know, because he had, like, that soul voice. So he just wanted, I think he wanted to experiment more with different kinds of music that would flatter his voice, not so much a straight rock. And obviously Joe and Andy during the hiatus went to a hard rock band, so that's obviously where their passion is. But yes, Folie Deux, the shared madness of two. I think the 2 was supposed to be Pete and Patrick because they were mad writing this, but that's just that's just my opinion. All right, so let's get into this album. If I think of things, because there's just so much to say about this. If I think of things that are, like, on the way, I'll just let y'all know. All right. Disloyal Order of Water Buffaloes, like a lot of people's favorite Fall Out Boy song ever. Like, people love this song. I like it. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but it's definitely a good jam. They brought it back to the set list during Wind Tour, which was amazing. I think they'd only played it a couple times post-hiatus since, and the way they played it was so beautiful. Patrick on piano, just an awesome addition to the set list to bring back an old favorite, because usually only one song is played off of this, because I think they have, like, those weird memories from Folie. Number 2, the second song on the album, I Don't Care. The song that is always played, a staple in the set list. Their first single released off of Folie. I wouldn't even say, I don't think it was even that much of a hit, but I do enjoy this song. A lot of people don't like it. I don't think it's, like, anywhere near the best song on the album, but I do like it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's fun to hear live. I'm glad something is played live from this all the time. She's My Winona, one of my favorite songs off the album. It's theorized that this song was written about Pete's son Bronx. I'm not sure how accurate that is, but just like a fun, peppy pop rock song. America's Sweethearts. Now, this song I hate. I don't hate Fall Out Boy songs, but I hate that one for some reason. I hate it so much. It's like, it annoys the crap out of me. I don't know why I hate it so much, but I know a lot of people like it. It's probably just me, but out of all the Fall Out Boy songs in the whole discography, that's the one I hate the most. So, I do like the music video, though. If I, like, mute the song and I watch the music video, Cassidy Pope is in the music video, former lead singer of Hey Monday, and now country star. It's a fun music video. I just hate that song so much. Head First Slide, one of my favorites off of this album. This song was released before the album. I don't think it was a single. I think it was just released before the album. One of my favorites. I wish that they'd bring this back into the set list, because when they used to play it live, it was bomb. The Ship's Gold Standard, probably my favorite song off this album. It's so different. It's like a gem, and it's like something you've never heard before. It's just like, the lyrics are beautiful. The melody is contagious. It's just so effortless, and I love it. This song is still a big, like, forerunner on all my playlists. It comes around probably once a week. I love it. I can never get sick of this song. Coffee for Closures, not one of my favorites. I do like it. I like the drums at the beginning. But I feel like this is one of the songs that fans were very confused about back in 2008. And they were like, what the hell is this? Like, especially the end part of the song. It sounds more pop. It doesn't sound like a rock band. It sounds like a pop song for back then. So I could see why fans were like, this isn't Fall Out Boy. Like, why are they selling out? I think they were just trying to experiment when I look back on it now. But I do see why people were confused. And this was one that they wanted to play live. So, I don't know. What a Catch, probably the most heartbreaking song out of their whole discography so far. The song was written by Pete in the perspective of Patrick. So when you see Patrick sing it, whether in the music video or if he sings it live, you just see the pain and the heartbreak in the song. It's so beautiful. Because Patrick looked so badly upon himself back then, like he thought he wasn't worthy of anything. The way that Pete was able to write a song perfectly for Patrick, and exactly the way he was feeling, like only best friends can do that. And it's a very beautiful, magical song, and it's breathtaking when you see it live too. 27, this song probably goes back to their roots a little bit further. It sounds like it could be on Infinity on High. It's like Patrick has like a deeper, like darker voice on this. The lyrics are very, their lyrics are very Pete, you know, trying to explain this like realm of fame that he's in, and how he doesn't feel like himself anymore. I think Pete was in a very dark time while writing the lyrics to this album. Tiffany Blues, probably the catchiest song on this album. Such a fun jam. It was one of the first ones I downloaded from the album onto my iPod, because this was, you know, before streaming and things. It was like just iTunes. So I remember I downloaded this one because I really liked it, because I could only download a few at a time because I didn't have a lot of money back then. And this was one of my favorites. I've had this on repeat for days. Like, I remember I must have been like 14 or 15, just jamming this constantly. I loved that song. That was definitely my favorite song back then. Wham's, probably tied with Ship's Gold Standard on my favorite song. I love this song. I love how different it is. It's just so eerie. And I love the bridge. A lot of people think it sounds like elevator music. I don't know why they think that, but I think it's just very beautiful how they did that. And I love the chorus. I love every part of this song. I love the lyrics. Oh gosh, I just love everything. $20 Nosebleed featuring Brendan Urie. They played it live on one tour. I'm jealous of those of you guys who got to see it. It's such an awesome song. It actually sounds like a Panic at the Disco song. Like, when I played it for my mom for the first time, she was like, is it Panic at the Disco? And then she heard Brendan. She's like, yeah, it is. And I'm like, no, it's a Fall Out Boy song, but with Brendan. And it's very like, it sounds like a classic, but with a Fall Out Boy spin on it, and I love it so much. And I hope that if they ever were to tour again or do a show again, they would play it together. When I saw them at the AT&T Block Party in 2016, I was like, they better play this stupid song, and everybody was chanting it, but they didn't, unfortunately. I don't think they did have a piano. I wonder why they didn't play it, but anyway. West Coast Smoker is a beautiful ending to this song. If you listen to $20 Nosebleed and then West Coast Smoker, those transitions into each other is like, it's like love. It's like, make love to me, Folie. I love it. Like, I would even have to play it for my sister. I'm like, just listen to this transition. Like, I miss, like, back in the day when albums would transition into or when songs would transition into each other when listening, like, from the beginning to an end of an album. I love that. Like, I'm just, like, a nerd, and I just love it. But, this song, Pete screams a little bit on it. It's a very fun, different kind of rock song. And that is all of the songs on my vinyl copy. I know that there is a deluxe somewhere that has Pavlove. I think the only way you can get it in the States anyway is to illegally download it. I'm not sure about the UK and stuff. Let me know down in the comments because I'm really curious. Like, those of you like overseas in the UK and, you know, wherever else, can you guys download Pavlove, or is that just like a track that nobody can get legally? Like, I'm very, very, very curious. But Pavlove should have been on this album 100%. Like, I would take it on America's Sweethearts and put Pavlove in here. That is probably one of their best songs ever. If you guys have not heard it, I'll find a video to it and link it in the description down below so you guys can check it out. But yes, Folie, when they first started playing songs from this album on tour, like after it came out for a little bit and they were touring it, they were like, okay, we're gonna play a new song, and people would boo them and just hate on them, and it didn't, like, the fans did not like it. But the weird thing is, like, the music critics praised this album. They praised the shit out of this album. They said that this is like a mature, they were not expecting this from a pop punk band. Like, this is a work of art. This is a masterpiece. And I think that's why it's getting the love now instead of back then. Like, back then, I think the reception from fans on this album almost led them to a hiatus. I don't think that's the exact reason. I think they were overworked as well. But I do think the reception of this, like, I feel like if this was received better back in 2008, it would have done, I don't think they would have went on hiatus. I really don't. Like, I guess we'll never know, but that's just how I feel. I feel like the fans kind of pushed them, as well as them not getting along with each other and being overworked, into a hiatus. But now people are starting to see the work of art that this is, and it's a lot of people's favorite albums because it is so different than anything else out there. Critics that don't like Fall Out Boy praise this album. This is just definitely a one-of-a-kind kind of thing. What is exciting though is that Patrick has said he's experimenting more he's going to be experimenting more on Mania. You know, a lot of things he experimented on Folie. He's even mentioned, I forget where, if I find it, I'll link it below, but he mentioned that he was going to he mentioned that a lot of things he experimented with on Folie, he's experimenting again on Mania because he finally feels comfortable and he feels like this was far enough away where he can do that again. And I think that's really, really cool. And, you know, it is, if you guys haven't heard any recent interviews about Folie, it is really sad to hear the guys talk about it because they're so, like, disappointed with it. And it's just such a big fan favorite now. Like, I absolutely adore this album completely, except America's Sweethearts. But this is just a great album. Try listening to it in the car. Like, those of you who can drive, or if you're going on a long road trip and you have your headphones in or whatever, just listen beginning to end and just try it. I know it's hard for a lot of you nowadays, but just attempt, and you'll see the entire piece as one, and you'll be like, damn, like, my ears just got a whole bunch of stuff. Like, it's such a fun album. Alright, and that's going to be it for my Folie album review. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I will link down all of my Fall Out Boy album reviews down in the description. I've done, you know, everything up to Folie, Takes to Your Grave, Infinity on High, From Under the Cork Tree, and now Folie. I have a few other, like, Fall Out Boy hype videos up my sleeve, ready to drop here in the next couple weeks or so. So excited for Mania. Make sure to tune in next Friday for Save Rock and Roll album review. So excited to do that one. That's one of my favorite albums of all time. And I hope you guys are all having a great day. Hope everybody has an amazing weekend, and I will see you guys on Monday for another video. Alright, bye guys!